tell me she passed away on September 20th?
What's up, Fertility fam? How are you? Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I thought I would go live a little bit earlier. So hopefully some of my friends in the UK and South Africa, hopefully it's not too late. It's 5 Eastern time in New York. So it's either 10 o'clock in the UK or 11, depending on the, are we in daylight savings? Either way, it's one of those. And then I'm not even sure what time it is in South Africa. Okay, I see 3 people. Can you guys hear me okay? I got a thumbs up. I got 5 people. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh no, don't tell me I can't see the chat again. Hang on. Let me see what just happened. This happened last time. I may have to go out and come back in. Let's do pop-out chat and see if that helps. Okay, yeah, we got it. I see you guys now. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Judy. Hi, Mahogany Soul. Is it Zuri Mahogany Soul? Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Thank you, ladies. This one was a little complicated to set up, and it makes me do a pop-out. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have a pop-up blocker on. That's probably what I did. Anyway. Hey, Elaine. You made it, girl. Hey, Gannett. Tanika, hello. Yes, okay, you guys can hear me. Awesome, awesome. I think we have 9 people in here. How is everybody doing? How's your Friday been? How's your week been? It's been like a crazy week for me at work. I don't know about you guys. Tell me what's going on with everybody. Hey, Lady Leo. How are you? Is it Bento? Oh my God. So I wanted to say hi to you guys because the blue moon is coming, which is about setting intentions. The blue moon is the 22nd, could be the 21st, depending on where you are in the planet and what your time zone is. Is that Justice? Oh my God, it is. I see her in the thing. I'm like, I can't lean back all the way. Come here, honey. What's going on back there? Okay, I don't want to squish you. Goodness gracious. Nursing finals, girl. Oh my goodness. All week. Hey, Seema. Yeah, so let me read a little bit about the blue moon. I pulled it up because I've been trying to figure out setting my intentions. I did my vision board, which that video is coming up, but I did show the vision board on Instagram. Actually, I'm gonna go grab it. Just remember when you see it later in another video, it's when I actually made it. But let me just do a top real quick. It's a seasonal blue moon. So a blue moon is a rare occurrence in which a second full moon appears within a short amount of time. There are 2 different types and definitions of a blue moon, and you can feel free to celebrate however you like. Of course, we always are. The blue moon's spiritual meaning always brings strong emotions, feels otherworldly, and makes us ponder what's important to us in life. Liberty has some objection to the blue moon right now. I don't know what's going on. Makes us ponder what's important to us in life. During this magical celestial moment, it's a beautiful time to follow your heart and desires. So we all are following our, hey, Andrea or Andrea, hello. Hey, Jennifer. My uncle left the hospital today after 18 days of touch and go with COVID. Oh, yes, it is. I'm so glad that he was able to leave the hospital, Jennifer. Ooh, 18 days is a long time. Hey, Genesis, what's rocking, mama? Hello to you too, my queen. I was going to say, hey, Seema, you guys were so cute. You and the baby with the blue frames. Which baby was that? I love those glasses. It's like a little Al Roker. And you look cute with your baby bump. So anyway, setting our heart's desires as we prepare for the blue moon. I'm going to go really quick and grab my vision board. Remember, you guys will see this later. For those of you who are here, you'll see it in a pre-recorded video, but let me grab it real fast. And I did this like, what was the other? We had another event. Oh, I know. Was it Orion's belt? No, that's from Men in Black. It was something else. Oh my God, it's something like that though. Not Orion's belt. What was it? Do you guys remember? Oh my God, what was the thing? It just happened. It was like, let me look it up real fast. Oh, you know what? I had it on my Instagram. Hold on. Let me go over there. Because I got on like the last night before it closed. Oh, Genesis, I see your belly. Is that from today? On your Instagram, Genesis? Was that earlier today? No, I lost the chat again. Doing too much as usual. Okay, here you guys are. You're back at the doctor. Okay. Yes, I think that's the photo I just saw of you. But I thought it was the hospital. Hopefully everything is okay, Mama. Okay, here we go. Lionsgate. That's what it was. I don't know why I was thinking Orion's belt. Isn't that from like Men in Black? The little belt was on the Lionsgate. So the Lionsgate was closing. And so that is why I did my vision board. And so I think I'm just going to like do affirmations on the blue moon, which is the 22nd. But oh, it's going to all be reversed for you guys. You'll see it right side in the when it is on the pre-recorded video. So this says forward. This says amazing grace. This is just a woman with a crown and a curly crown. And it is as I am, strong, free your mind. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And this free your mind is like kind of with all the fertility stuff. Like this is a needle. There's like pineapple stuff. I just thought like that was, you know, free your mind, because there are people who are like, give up, or when are you going to quit, or whatever. And then this is just like healthy living, a woman laying in the bed, looking relaxed, just contemplating how life might turn out in the future. And then live and breathe, unwind and breathe. I think that is just a big reminder to me to breathe. Somebody noticed that in one of my videos, like I'll do a cleansing breath when I'm trying to get rid of something. So it is like, just like let it go. So I have breathe on there twice on purpose. And then transforming, what does it say? The no fail guide to, and it says you are magical more than, but really the no fail guide to becoming Tanika. And then it's 2021 loading, the rebirth of a legend, progress, not perfection. So that I always have to remind myself, because there's a part of me that like won't move forward because I want it to be everything be right. And sometimes it's just about moving forward, especially on this weight loss and everything else. It's just about making progress. And then over here, the power of, is it on the screen? The power of what I wish, courage, love, baby. And then I just had two little cute kids here. There's a little girl. I don't know if this is a little boy or not. In my mind, it's a little boy. And then fun, like this is like a little chair with a rainbow on it. It's like a green and yellow rainbow and a pink poof, which I thought was just like fun and kid-like. So this is all under the power of sleep, because that I've been lacking the playing. And then of course there's a little Yorkie. I only found one. Otherwise I would have put both the girls in there. But, and then these little Easter bunny thingies. And then the next chapter, get it done. Oh, here, growing your family, 100% chance, promise to you. So, and then there's a little sunrise here and a woman kicked back on the beach. I'm a California girl. I stand a beach. So yeah, that was, I'm going to work on that. Oh, and the big Cheerios. Oh, I skipped over the whole middle. This is a Cheerios heart, which Cheerios is good for your heart. So that's why they have that. But I just, healthy heart, healthy and always, like emotionally, physically, and then love, and then an abundance of love and good relationships. So that is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to try to be as specific as possible for my blue moon, but we'll see. Lady Leo, good news. Jennifer, oh, recovering. Oh no, Lady Leo, you had COVID too and pneumonia, and it was a beast. Oh my God, I had never been so sick. I'm grateful for all birthdays, but I was super grateful for. Amen. Wow. Hey, Felicia, what's going on, Mama? Happy Friday. This is your first time joining the live. Welcome. Yes, your vibe attracts your tribe. I believe that, and I'm trying to attract my tribe of children, but all of it. I think, at whatever you put out is what you attract ultimately. What is the teal thing? Is it a sex chair or a vibrator? No, like for what teal thing? On the vision board, there's definitely no sex or vibrator on. Oh, it's a moon. Are you talking about this? That is a moon. It's a pillow of a moon, right by sleep. Is that what you're talking about? Genesis, you always have sex on the mind. I'm waiting for you to come out with a line of sex toys. I'm going to go in closer. Can you see that? It's a moon. Like a quarter moon. It's a pillow. Hey, Tara. Is it Tara or Tara? Hopefully one of them is right. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I did one a little bit earlier. It's Friday. I took a summer Friday. Well, not really. I worked till 5, but I was like, 5:04. I'm getting on YouTube. Lady Lee, are you laughing at me or Genesis and the sex chair and what is a sex chair, Genesis? Oh my God. What is a sex chair? Like, do I want to know? Elaine, I just received my IVF meds in the mail for the second retrieval. Oh my God. Oh, congratulations, Elaine. How are you feeling? Like, are you in a calm, accepting place? Are you scared? Are you all of those things? Actually, I was supposed to order more progesterone and oil today. I have some. I got to make a note. I need to order it on Monday. Yeah, because it's already past 5. Maybe I can do it before 8, but they won't deliver it till Monday or Tuesday anyway. I thought it was a sex toy. I haven't had none. I guess I need to handle. Yes, honey. Hey, Melissa. Happy Friday. I've had a hectic week. Hectic in a good way, but it's obviously there was a transfer this week, so that was exciting. Now I can't remember. I went live earlier this week, right? I've talked to you guys since the transfer. Does anybody have any questions about the transfer? I did. I was here and on Instagram after the transfer. So now I have my transfers on Tuesday. So today is, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today is 3 days past 5-day FET or 8 DPO. Is that bone broth? What does that taste like? What does it do? It is not bone broth. It is Fertility that I got in my, in my box from Align Women's Wellness. But I did have bone broth earlier and I had bone broth yesterday. It just depends on what kind of bone broth you get. Like, have you ever had oxtails and you suck the marrow out? Like, that's the oxtail bone broth. It's broken down from the collagen of whatever meat it is. If it's chicken, it's going to taste like chicken. If it's beef, if it's turkey, it just tastes like whatever. Now, I have seen some, I have one that's like tomato basil bone broth. I need to look at that closer. And I've seen like vegetarian bone broth, which, do plants have bones? So I'm not sure what is exactly in that, but it's just basically collagen. It's savory. It's a savory flavor. I usually add turmeric, black pepper, cayenne. Turmeric is good for inflammation. If I have fresh ginger, I'll grate it up. That's also good for inflammation. Hey, Elaine, all over the place, but remaining calm. Workout is helping. As soon as I get the jump rope in the mail, I'm doing the jump rope challenge with you. Oh, awesome. I'm not jumping anymore because of my transfer, but I will definitely be rooting you on. My last day of jumping was Monday. Everybody was like gently talking to me. Like, no one would tell me straight out, like, don't jump. They would be like, are you planning on, or do you think it's a good idea? Like, the acupuncturist was like, do you think it's a good idea? And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to jump. And she was like, oh, good. And then I saw another acupuncturist this week because Clara's on vacation. And she was like, don't do any hard exercise that draws blood into the extremities. She was like, she just recommends walking and that's it. And maybe like some restorative yoga poses, but not even like downward dog or. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, listen, I needed to do something different because Lord knows I don't know how to get anywhere and sit down. Tara says she's 47, hoping to be cleared for IVF in September. Ooh, waiting in cardiology evaluation. I'm doing the Fertility fam. Are you joining? Okay, well, welcome back. I remember doing the cardiology thing, which it just seems crazy, but yeah, I'm sure it'll go fine. So that, like an echocardiogram, right, in their scan. They actually did my throat and my chest, which I don't know why now, but I remember that. That's when I had the creepy lady who stayed in the room with me while I got undressed. So Elaine, you're all over the place about the feelings. I think that's normal. There's so many things. I think just channel like your energy. At least for me, that worked this last time, is like channeling my energy, talking to the baby, staying focused. Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of, not this last cycle, but FET number 2, I was just like dreading the injections, and I don't think that was a good way to go into it. Like I was dreading the progesterone and oil injections. Now, like I have a little ritual. I'm good. I actually look forward to it. I think like we just like try to, if you can, put your mind in like a positive, calming way. I think it's normal to be excited. It's normal to be nervous. We're human. What are your major plans for this pregnancy, and how do you plan to limit stress at work? I don't have a plan to limit stress at work. I mean, work is going to be stressful. It just is. What I can control is how I react to the stress. So I'll just have to like be firm about what time I'm available and not available, or what is going on. But TV is TV. It's not going to be any less stressful. It is my world. I did IVF. I eat the core of the pineapple and kept my feet warm for the whole 9 months. And God bless us now. Congratulations. So I have on my fuzzy socks. I'm keeping it warm. I have my pineapple. Although I heard now that you're supposed to eat it in the morning. I haven't had any today, but yesterday and the day before I had it in the evening. Do you guys know why in the morning? Somebody told me in the morning on an empty stomach, but I haven't had time to look it up. Does anybody know? And I got the one from Fresh Direct where they already cut the outside off of it, but they leave the core in. And then yesterday I got a whole new pineapple with the core because I'm going to run out with just the first one I had. Like it was supposed to last 7 days, and I don't think what I originally got was going to last 7 days. So keep your feet in warm socks at all times and core pineapple for only 3 days. Okay. So, but is it in the morning? Is it my world? Is that when they're taking it, or do you know? Both required over 45. Yeah. Okay. Oh, is it over? So see, Tara, when I started mine, like I started at 46. They didn't have me start doing all of that until when I turned 48. But like 46, 47, they didn't have me do my heart. It was different clinics too, though. It might be a different standard because I was at RMA. And I was only doing IUI. But I was doing Femera, so there's still, I mean, it was a low chance, but there's still a chance of multiples. But definitely with IVF, there's a higher chance of multiples. Hello, Kizzy Lamonton. Hey, Maya 2.0. Hey, Christina Molette. You're here. Husband Zico just walked by and heard your voice and said hello too. Oh, hello, hubby. How are you? Hopefully I'm not too late. I don't know when you put that up there. Yes, congratulations on the twins. LaShonda, I had on your shirt the other day. Hello, on whatever day. Not transfer day. Maybe it was Wednesday. I had it on. Everybody loves that shirt. It was the PL. Or what is it? Prayers, love. Yeah, PLBD, prayers, love, and baby dust with the XOXO in it. I did it in the morning, but have no idea why. I wear 2-3 socks at all the times. I'm praying for you. Okay. Oh, I only have one, but they're thick. I have so many socks. See, these are like fuzzy, warm, and they have like the little traction on the bottom. I'll put on my fuzzy slippers. I got these when I was in California. Like it's supposed to be a bear. I can't really show you because I can't stay. Oh, there. Kind of. I can show you. But there's like, I have 6 pair and they're all different animals. One's like a black panda, and my little things the pom-poms were coming off when I was in California, and my mom would sew them back on for me. I was like, oh, even though she was sick, it gave her something to do. Maternity shirts, girl. Yes, I'm gonna wear stretchy clothes. When I got pregnant with Cheyenne, my boobs got so big. I'm not trying to get anything with buttons on it, but I also don't want to wear baggy clothes. Oh wait, I didn't answer the rest of Genesis' questions. Thinking about something about the pregnancy and then something about stress. What are your major plans? So my major plans for the pregnancy are to stay healthy, stay calm, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Because I feel like with my pregnancy with Cheyenne, I didn't fully get to enjoy it. And this one I want to enjoy from beginning to end. And this is probably the first transfer where I've had that mindset going in, because before I was like so afraid of being pregnant and then having a miscarriage. Like I was already anticipating not enjoying it. So now I'm just looking forward to enjoying it. Like it's going to be full term. It's going to be healthy. We won't have like intrauterine growth restriction or any of those prior problems. Like I'm just going to channel all that. And actually, I'm glad you asked that, because I think, Genesis, I'll put that in my intentions for the blue moon. When I do my intentions on, is it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday's gonna be the blue moon, right? Anyway, I'm excited about maternity clothes too, LaShonda. How to keep them warm. How to keep what warm? The feet warm? Socks, booties. Hey, TK Singleton. Now that you said put on 2 socks, I have these other booties. I think I'm going to go put them on. Give me 1 second, ladies, because I got to get my feet warm. I have these with this. Okay. I'm going to get these Tootsies Toasty. All right. Yeah, they fit over the thick socks too. Okay. See, the fam is always taking care of me. I would iron my sock every 3 hours and put them right on afterwards. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I do have like a hot water bottle that I put between my feet at night. It's already warm because I warm it for most nights. I warm it for my progesterone and oil. So I just stick it at the bottom of the bed and that feels good too. Socks. That's a fertility thing. Like my sock drawer is full to the brim. I have little honeycombs where they're supposed to go inside their socks and all of the honeycombs. And then on top of there's another layer of socks. That is like a fertility. Hey, pretty brown eyes. Christina, chocolate coated. Anybody else I miss? Being positive in the beginning of the pregnancy is key. Even before is good. This is what I'm doing this time around. Leave it up to God and let it go. Positive thoughts for the way. Exactly. It was funny too because the immunologist called. Come on up here. Oh my goodness. The immunologist called and they were trying to confirm an appointment for Monday. And then I was like, I had a transfer. So technically I'm pregnant. Can you ask her if I should be coming in? And the lady was like, let me call you back. And she called me back. She was like, no. And, good luck with everything. And that was like the first time I've ever interrupted something during an FET, like after a transfer. Normally I just keep going like, okay, we'll wait till it's pink. But I'm like, no, I haven't had anything to drink, nothing, which is totally opposite of every other thing. Because, and the forums are like, drink till it's pink. This time I'm just like, nothing. This is a vessel that a soul is trying to come through. Hey, Kizzy. Oh, I love those little icons, the rainbow. Andrea Smedley. Hello, welcome. What's your story, Andrea? Are you TTC? Are you going through IVF? Hey, Donna Grace. Good afternoon. Oh, I'm so glad that you caught it live too. Where are you, Donna, that it's afternoon? I'm honestly, Elaine, I'm doing better, but not great. So this is my second one. It's 5 o'clock. I've only had that much, but I have finished one of these today. And I pulled this out so that I could drink it while I'm sitting here. So that's a good question. Jumping rope will have you drinking the water, though. While I was jumping rope, I would drink one of these alone just during the jump rope because it gets so hot. So I just got to keep that up even though I'm not jumping rope, TK, amen to that, of taking care of my vessel. One of the natural fertility told me that warm socks keep your uterus from contracting after a transfer. Have faith and relax. I'm happy for you. Thank you. Yes, that makes sense. And I had on the little hospital socks afterwards. Although when I went to acupuncture, when she was talking to me, I took my shoes off and I had my feet on the floor and she was like, your feet should be warm. So I just lifted them up until I got on the table because I had on slip-ons. I didn't wear socks to that treatment. But it is what it is. I'm trying to have a baby. I'm just getting started with my journey. I have been trying 3 years. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, good luck on your journey. You can always email me if you have any questions. In any of the videos, leave comments. The community is super helpful. People will answer your questions. I'll answer your questions, but other people will jump in because we all have different experiences. So welcome to the fam and let us know how we can support you. Let's get these babies, ladies. So that's what's going on with me. I just wanted to come on because I'm always on at like 10 o'clock at night going crazy. Yes, you're trying to drink a gallon. Okay, this sounds crazy. How many ounces is in a gallon? I don't know what that is, unfortunately. I drink at least 2 of these a day, and these are 33 or 34, 33.8, so we'll say 34. So that's 68 ounces at least a day, but I don't know if that's a gallon or not. Your third retrieval is tomorrow, and you're 41. All right, Cameron. Are you excited? All right, so does that mean, oh no, that means you triggered yesterday. Are you just like chilling today? Happy to get my calendar this coming week for my FET. Okay, Christina. Everybody's got good things going on. So those are all things we can think about on the full moon. As we set our intentions, 128 ounces. Oh my God. So I'd have to drink 4 of those a day, Elaine. Yeah. I think we're going to just work our way to like consistently having 3. But I will tell you, I have been very, very, very good with my caffeine. This is the only cycle where I have had no more than 200 milligrams of caffeine a day, if at all. Because decaf does have some caffeine in it, but for the most part, I've stuck with the decaf. Yesterday, I did have an iced matcha, green tea matcha from Dunkin', but I looked it up and it is 200 milligrams. I looked it up before I went to get it. And so after that, I just didn't have any more caffeine. But before that, I was drinking like 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. God only knows what I was doing to like my adrenals. Well, God and us, we know what I was doing to my adrenals because that was crazy. Good prenatal. I would look for something that is derived from whole foods. I would not recommend a gummy because it has sugar in it. You want to have something that has methylfolate if you can, or another version of folic acid, just in case your body doesn't absorb folic acid, because some of us don't. But there's a lot of good brands out there. I did try the Stork fertility ones, but that one, it was 2 pills and I didn't like it. And right now I have a prescription for VitaPearl, but it's kind of on the expensive side. And I was like, well, I'm older, so I'll do it. But just look for something with natural ingredients. Like read the things, like you don't want to have a bunch of fillers in it, you know. Whole Foods has some nice prenatals. It's hard to cut it off for me too. Yes, it is. There's somebody I watch. Oh no, I can't think of it. She is a younger woman married to an older man. She has a YouTube channel. She drinks a lot of coffee too, and she's been trying to cut back. They were doing IUIs. I think they're going to go to IVF, but they were doing IUIs with donor sperm because he had a vasectomy. And then they started doing testes. Why can't I think of her name? She's super cute, like blonde. Her husband is older. He's got to be at least 20 years older than she is. But anyway, like it's a thing. And then, what is it? Tiffany Day was drinking coffee and had to cut back. So yeah. And interestingly enough, like the RE didn't even say like to limit my coffee until before this last cycle, when I specifically asked her, because you guys have been mentioning it to me. And so then she was like, oh yeah. Cause I was like, I drink 4 or 5 cups a day. I feel like that should be on a checklist somewhere. They should ask that during intake. Because I'm not blaming this RE. It's my 3rd RE. None of them have ever asked about my coffee intake. So I just feel like that should be standard. Or caffeine, because I was also like Diet Coke. If it wasn't coffee, it was Diet Coke. It was like I needed that for energy. You know what I mean? Or I thought I did. I was using it for energy. Hey, brown sugar. You found out today there's no fibroids. Yay! 44B45 when I start my 2nd IVF in October. My first IVF failed in May. They don't know why. Yeah, it's hard for them to say. Are they going to do an ERA? Like, what was your protocol for progesterone, brown sugar, when you did it? Did you do injections? Did you do suppositories? A mix of both? Let's not. Oh, thank you, Judy. Yes, ladies, please hit the thumbs up. We have 56 people in here. If we could get 56 thumbs up, that would be awesome. It helps the channel grow. And I'm trying to get to 10,000 because I want to go to YouTube camp. And to be eligible, you have to have 10,000. They have all these rules. But anyway, we're real close. So if you all you have to do is hit thumbs up, no other pressure. Doing your first FET on Monday, Gemma, terrified. So I've been doing my fertility meditations and affirmations, Gemma. I would just say, if there's a way for you to embrace it and acknowledge that it's normal to be terrified, and you're going to embrace it and push through so that you don't feel terrified when you actually go into the room. Get a lot of rest, get hydrated. I have been to twice now where I wasn't fully hydrated. So no matter how much water I was drinking, it wasn't filling up my bladder because my body needed it. So definitely get hydrated the day before so that when you start drinking water, because your bladder has to be full for the FET, right? You just turned 38. Okay, looking forward to celebrate. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Gemma. I need my Starbucks. My RE told me from the jump. Okay. You stopped cold turkey, TK? Oh, my God. Yeah, my REs did not tell me. And I would say as the years went by, I probably weaned. But yeah, at that point when I first started, I was definitely a Starbucks junkie. I've switched now to Dunkin'. That matcha latte is my jam, the iced one. But yeah, injections. Okay. So maybe they will, or maybe have they thought about doing an ERA for you, brown sugar, to see if you're receptive or if you need more progesterone? Thank you for the thumbs up, Christina. I would love to do a YouTube channel for the past 2 years, but I'm too scared to tell my story. I'm so grateful for you. Maybe. Yes. I mean, it depends on, you could put your story out here. People probably won't know about it unless you specifically tell them, because YouTube is such like a big world, but it's like a small pocket of society, because there are YouTubers who have like 10 million views, or 10 million subscribers and millions and billions of views, and they can walk down the street and the normal person like wouldn't recognize them. So, but it is out there. I mean, if you think about, your child may find it one day, or your child's friends, right? So that's something to consider, because it is available. You know how those people, it'll be like Twitter from 10 years ago, like the McClure twins' dad, he was like writing racist things, and then their whole top got blew off, because then he had to admit he wasn't their biological father, he wasn't with the wife, like, so just you can keep it private. And there's some people that I follow that I found on Instagram who don't publish publicly. There's a way to do it, like it's not a private, what's the one, you guys, who has a YouTube channel? What's between private and published? But you can just send that direct link to the people you want to see that video, and they can see it. If you just want to document the journey, like for a couple of TTC sisters or people who kind of know what you're going through, but you don't want it out there for the world. I got the fertility affirmation deck from Align Women's Wellness. It came in a box, but let me grab the deck and I will see if it has the maker on there. So it kind of comes like, my daughter has tarot boxes. It kind of comes in a box like that. And those are all the cards. It says developed by Wendy Ezell, Ezzell. Fertile affirmations, inspiring messages to support you through conception. I don't know. Yeah, it just has her name all over it. Wendy Ezell, Ezzell. And she has the initials MA and LPC behind it. License something. But they're cool. Let's pull one together. I just kind of go through these. These are good in the morning too, if I don't really have time to meditate, but I just want to do like a mantra while I'm doing my morning yoga. Okay, this one, I am filled with patience through this journey. Oh, I think it's backwards. Let me see some other ones. There's one that I wanted to say for the young lady who said she was afraid. Actually, I'm going to get the baby's journal, because I write them down when I'm journaling the baby too. There's some that are good for moving you through like fear. So here's the journal, and I do love letters to the baby every night, but then I also write the affirmation just so like I have some kind of connection with it, instead of just like reading it and putting it back in there. And then I think about it, repeat it. Like earlier this week, I am bathed in peace every breath I take. And so that just reminds me, like, do those cleansing breaths and just imagine like peace coming over me. But there's one that helped me when I was like, here it is. Okay. I am acknowledging the overwhelming stress of fear and worry, only to release it. So that was important to me, because it was like, instead of trying to push it away, acknowledging that it's there, acknowledging that it causes stress, that it's getting my cortisol up, and then just like, I'm acknowledging it so I can release it. Yes, it's there. Yes, it's normal. Yes, I'm going to put it over here. If that makes sense. So yeah, there's some cool ones here. I'm not going to read the letters to the babies because I have their names in there, or the names that I think, although sometimes like here I call the baby Sweet Pea. Yeah, and I wrote that one a couple of times. I pulled that one a couple of times. I'm acknowledging the overwhelming stress of fear and worry, only to release it. So Yeah, those are little, but it opens my heart up because I do the journaling part at night. Like I write the affirmation down in the morning when I do it, but then I do the journaling to the baby at night. And it's like such a nice way to go to sleep. And I can't explain it, but it just makes my heart warm. Like it just feels like my heart's like, oh, because I'm talking about things we're going to do or things, I don't know. It's just good stuff. But so I'll put a link I'll look on Amazon if I find these on there. I don't know if they're on there, but I'll do a web search. And I'll put it in the description box for this video if I figure out where these came from. But yeah, I know Uniquely Ursi said she had a pack too. So I'm not sure if multiple people make it. Oh, or if it's the same brand. But yeah, I really like those. Oh, thank you, Tanika. I love that we have the same name. Shauna, yeah, right? I need to start journaling because my brain is overloaded with thoughts, dreams, wishes. Yeah. What do fertility labs consist of? Oh, so many things, Andrea. So one, it depends on when you go in, but let's just say you're going to go in for like an assisted reproductive, oh my God, technology, ART process. The first time they may just do all your blood work to see where you are, what's going on, meaning like they'll check your vitamin D levels, your prolactin levels, TSH, your hormone level. They may look at your AMH, anti-Murillion hormone, which says like it's an indicator of what your egg reserve is. And it's not a 1-for-1 translation. Like I've heard some women think of it as like it amounts to the exact amount of eggs you have. It's not quite that. Like if it's anything under a 1, they usually recommend donor. Like that's just their protocol. Not to say that you won't be successful. They'll tell you what your chances are. They'll pull out a little grid and say, over here, you have this much chance. Over here, you have this much chance. And it goes down. But if you switch to donor eggs, you have this much chance when you start, which for me, we now know is a lie. Then they'll have you come back on at the beginning of your period. So your cycle is from the start of your period until the last day before your period starts, right? And so they'll have you come in on your period, like cycle day 2 through 4 is most clinics. And at that point, they want to look at your FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. They want to look at your E2, which is your estrogen, and your progesterone or P4. Does that make sense? And then I get this question a lot because I have a video out there about how I lowered my FSH. Why does it matter? If your FSH is over 10, it's going to be harder for them to stimulate your ovaries. If it's over 20, they consider it impossible. So your cycle will get canceled if your FSH is over 20. The good thing is it changes every month, but they will count those against you. So I had an FSH at one point of 50 and then I got it back down again, but they always consider that when they were stimming me, right? Like they just do. So you can lower it so that you can cycle. Around 7 is like ideal. Like I feel like I responded well when I was around 7. Everybody's different. So I'm just telling you my experience. And then they'll look at your ovaries. They'll look at both your ovaries. They'll look at your uterus. Sometimes they'll have you do an HSG with the dye just to check that your tubes are intact, what your uterus looks like. And then they also do a sonogram, where they put water in and go with an ultrasound. They're looking at the surface of your uterus. So when I had that done the first time, they found a polyp, so then I had to have surgery to have that, or a procedure. They put me to sleep, so I call it surgery, but some people get offended by that. I had an anesthesiologist. That was a surgery for me. So even when I have oral surgery and I'm wide awake, that's a surgery. But I digress. And so if there's something wrong, they'll remove it. They're going to look for things like if you have a history of fibroids, if you have a history of endometriosis, or do you have misdiagnosed and no one has ever told you if you have PCOS? So they're just kind of get like a baseline of where you are and what's going on with you, what your insulin levels are, they'll just do like a full panel workup. And they, in conjunction with that, will ask that you have a current physical, a current mammogram if you're of the age that needs a mammogram. What is the other one? Physical, mammogram. I can't remember. That you be current on all your shots. I usually recommend like flu vaccine when you're trying to conceive. Like when Zika was a big thing, they warned us about that. My clinic requested or suggested that I do a COVID vaccine. So I'm trying to think, there's one more that you need to do. Physical. Pap smear, duh. So, and have your annual gynecological exam, right? They usually want all that paperwork before they'll start. Most clinics will. Some will start you like on meds or have you do time sex without having all that because there's not really a lot of medical intervention and you could just go home and have sex even if they didn't give you anything. So they're willing to do that. Wait, what did Shauna say? I missed it. I need to start journaling. Oh, my overloaded with thought streams, which is yes. It happens. And you know what? Honestly, like writing that out gets out all of my angst for the day. It's just a soothing way to go to bed. Like I just imagine that I'm going to bed with the baby. Like, and I'm not like romanticizing it. I know babies will be crying and up all night, but just that peace of mind that my baby is coming helps. And doing a brain dump too, right? I'm not saying dump everything in the journal with the baby. Maybe it's a separate journal, but whatever it is, like definitely get it out of your brain because I've found that that is helping me sleep better. So that's another thing too for this cycle. I've slept much better than in any other cycle, and I made a conscious decision to work on my sleep so that I'm not up until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then, or up until midnight and then back up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Because sometimes before I was only getting 4 hours of sleep. Part of it was stress, and part of it was me not managing the stress. So I've been doing the yoga, the meditations, the jump roping. I think jump roping for me kickstarted this cycle off into a healthy start because after you jump 1,000 jumps that first time, your legs are going to be sore the next day. So then you're like, oh my God, I got to do it again. So that is when I was like, oh, I got to start doing yoga. And one of the team members was like telling me about the pigeon pose. And like, I realized I needed to open my hips, stretch my thighs. It's all of it. It's your hamstrings, your arms. So I just got in a good pattern and it made me tired so that when the day was over, I was ready to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like I was physically tired and not just mentally exhausted. Because sometimes I could be, I could be mentally exhausted, but my brain still doesn't want to shut down. So yeah, hopefully all that makes sense. I'm just noting like what was different for me, like what I intentionally made different this cycle. And I started at the end of the last cycle, but I felt like it was too little too late. But I was recognizing like it was coming to me. I was recognizing that I was very wound up. Sonogram on Tuesday to make sure I don't have any polyps so we can start meds. Okay, very good. Yeah, and then at the beginning of every cycle, they'll also do another scan of your ovaries. They will look for cysts. They want to make sure that there is something happening in the ovaries, that there is something that can stimulate. So they'll give you they'll start off with your antral follicle count, which is like how many follicles you have on each side. And it will then vary from month to month, like how many actually develop. And the goal with the stems is the stimulating medication, which everybody in the community calls stems. Whether it's Femara / letrozole, Clomid, Gonal F, Minipure, whatever it is that they're using to stim you. The goal is to grow out those follicles that they see. So it won't create new follicles necessarily, but if you have, 10 on each side, they're trying to grow 10 out. If you're going to do a retrieval, if you're doing an IUI, they don't want to grow that many out because they're going to trigger you and you're going to release all that. And they don't want you to have a gazillion babies at once. Hopefully that made sense. I'm behind. I'm going to try to catch up. I had my transfer in June and I'll be 14 weeks. Congratulations, Angela. IVF was tough and worth it. Yes, it is. Oh, I am caught up, I think. If I didn't acknowledge you, just drop me another note. Oh, Christina's saying love affirmations and happy Friday. The meditation on the roof. Thank you, Donna. It feels good up there too. I don't know. Looking back at it, it was also felt majestic. So it was nice to look back at it because obviously when my eyes are closed, I can't see the clouds going by. And because it was sped up, it was like even going by faster. But it just felt like so open out there. You know what I mean? Like I was like on top of the world, just in the clouds. And so it was very good. I do it sometimes out on my side, out on the terrace, but it's not, obviously my terrace was smaller than the whole roof of the building. So I go up there. It's good. It's nice. And because I'm crazy. I'll go the stairs it's only one flight up, the stairs to the rooftop are here. Obviously I can take the elevator, but I put on my glute band and just go up. I'm pointing because that's where they are. I just go up and down the stairs with my glute bands too. That was a good exercise. Pre-transfer. I'm not doing anything other than walking post-transfer. Yeah, but I feel good. Did I miss the live? No, Sade, welcome. Hey, honey. Hit that like button, sis, while you're here. Okay, we got 52 in, 36 likes. People are coming and going, I'm sure. Show me some love. Help me grow. Hit the thumbs up if you don't know what the like button is. It's that little thumbs up button. Yeah, we're talking about all things fertility over here. What to expect at your first RE visit. What kind of tests they're running, how to keep sane and turn our brains off. How do I feel about IUD? I don't have a feeling about IUD. I've never done one. I know some people who had IUDs and still ended up pregnant. Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I was not ever in like a long-term relationship like that. I'm a big fan of condoms, which, yeah, I just am. Any other ladies have experience with IUD or good or bad? Yes, Sade is telling you guys all happy Friday. Happy Friday. Oh, I'm so glad it's Friday. I have a lot to do around the house, but I'm glad it's Friday. Yeah, I was actually going to go get waxed yesterday, Genesis, but I'm not going to go till next Saturday because I might go out to Brooklyn to this luncheon thing. Fan of condoms. Yes, Christina, I'm a fan of condoms. Yeah, I just, I didn't do well in birth control. I had the Norplant after I had Cheyenne, and then I started losing hair. So after that was gone, I didn't do that. And then I have commitment issues. I've been with dudes who cheat. So I'm like, just wrap that bad boy up. You know what I'm saying? But I understand married people are not going to do that. But I just don't have any experience with the IUD. I've heard horror stories, as I'm sure we all have, but that can be said with anything. Like, I feel like the internet will make up a scary story or take that one instance out of 100 and blow it out of proportion. So I don't want to misspeak on it because I don't have any experience with it. You got to had my period for a couple months. Then once my hit this year, I haven't had my period since then. Oh, interesting. Have you had your hormones checked? The hormone panels done? And did you have a period when it was in, or did they stop your periods altogether? Sorry, I got something fuzzy on my lips. I'm wondering if it gave me PCOS. Oh, I don't know that it could give you PCOS, but if you already had it, it could have exacerbated it. Tara is team condoms. Okay. Any thoughts on PRP for over 45? Oh, that is a loaded question. It's not for me. I will say that. There are no studies to show that it actually leads to a pregnancy, right? There's nothing to say if you do PRP, it's experimental, which some people are fine with it being experimental. I'm not going to pay to be a part of an experiment. If they want to do a study and they would pay me, I would be open to it, sure. But as of this point in my stage, like, I'm already down the path for a donor egg, so I don't think I would go backwards. Do you know what I mean? But there are some, like, I've talked to some ladies who are like, they are doing that. They're expecting their AMH to get higher, which I'm not clear on how that is even like physically possible because we're born with the eggs that we're going to have, right? So as they go down, the number goes down, even though it's not a 1-to-1 correlation. But like, so if your AMH goes back up, does that mean the PRP gave you more eggs? Like, how could it physically do that? You know what I'm saying? Because your body can't physically create anymore. So like, it just, some of the logic, it doesn't make sense to me. So I wasn't willing to sign up. But I know New Hope does it. And most of the women are part of their study that, of like what this could do. And what I have heard good results is in reversing menopause, the symptoms of menopause. So their hormone levels were improved. They felt, vivacious again. Their estrogen improved. So their skin tightened back up. They had moist vaginas again during sex, like all that stuff that changes post-menopause. But there's no studies about it improving live pregnancy outcomes, which is what my goal is. But I think if we all have to decide what makes sense for us and what we're going to do with our money. I'm not going to spend my money that way. Yeah. Pretty Brown Eyes says you don't get PCOS. Yeah, I don't think so either, Pretty Brown Eyes. That's what I'm saying. Unless it was already there, like maybe the IUD suppressed it and then it brought out, but it wouldn't create polycystic ovaries. Do you know what I mean? Not yet, no hormone panel done. What does that consist of? So they're gonna just check all your hormones. So insulin, vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone. They're going to check the TSH, so your thyroid hormone, prolactin, iron levels, folic acid. They'll check all of those. And then they'll also check your FSH, which basically tells you how hard your body is trying to produce follicles every month, right? If it's really high, your body's working super hard to make it, which is why if your FSH is over a 10, they usually will not go forward with the cycle, or they'll tell you your chances are slim. If your FSH is over 20, game over, cycle canceled, wait again until next month, try again. They'll look for all of those things to see like what's going on with you. What is your progesterone after 7 days after you ovulate? Because you could be getting pregnant and not know it. And your body's not holding it because you don't have the right amount of progesterone. And I know if you're like, oh, but I don't have a period, you can get pregnant without having a period. You just have to ovulate. If you ovulate and you catch that egg, no period will ever happen. So that could have been happening, but you've said it, you haven't had it for a while. So in your case, probably not, but that does happen to some women. But they would just run a full workup. You would want to get a physical, get all that other stuff done, pap smear, mammogram. And after 45, most doctors also will check your ovaries because we have, beginning at 46, we have a higher chance of getting ovarian cancer than we do of getting cervical cancer. So they call it a pap smear, but really it's just a gynecological exam. I know my gynecologist started at 46 checking for my ovaries. So for cancer on my ovaries. Hey, Mayavor. I think it's a bus, 45 in September. No, why is that a bus? Do you still have, even if you don't have all your things, donor is also an option. But at 45 for me is still young. I wouldn't throw in the towel at 45. Listen, I didn't throw it in until 49. So if you feel like it's possible, and they'll tell you your chances. I'm not saying be foolish and spend a lot of money. If you have to decide, if they tell you it's like a 1% chance or a 5% chance, it's not a 0, right? And that's where I was. I had a 1% chance and I was willing to pay for it because it was worth it to me. So you have to decide like what makes sense for you. You can create more eggs, but you can have follicles that were suppressed become visible. That is true as far as follicles, because I had that happen with the DHEA. But more follicles doesn't equal a higher AMH. So that's the thing. Like AMH is measuring ovarian reserve, which are your ovum. So, I mean, it's neither here nor there. It doesn't impact me. So I don't go crazy when people tell me they increase their AMH. It makes me know, never mind. I'm just like, from a scientific standpoint, it doesn't really make sense. But if they believe it and it works for them, it doesn't affect me either way. You know what I mean? So why am I going to? So when it seems like we have less eggs, they are suppressed due to hormonal imbalance or deficiency. Yeah. So I will say that the DHEA did increase my follicle count. Which only means that ones that were called to that cycle were more than what was before. Because even though our eggs, we have all the eggs we were ever born with, they don't all come up every month, right? They don't all come up and be like, hey, we're ready. Because then we would have run out by now. Only a few are called. The chosen are few. And so when I took the DHA, a few more were called to task, which makes sense. But I also feel like, well, does that run your fertility out faster? Because then I've heard of women who were donors who had like 3-4 cycles. And then when they became older, were not able to conceive. So I'm like, was it because they called so many at a time? Because normally we would just have one, right? And the other ones would be reabsorbed. So we would only release the one egg. And now when you're doing art, you're getting 7, 8. I mean, at my age, I was called to action And the younger women, like my donor had 33 eggs retrieved and she's 27. So I don't even know how many were actually, like how many follicles were called to action, right? That's a lot to call all at once when your body's normally only doing one. You want to have a baby, Andre? I really pray that it's in God's will for me. Yes, name it and claim it. You have a conversation with God, and if it's meant to be, it will be. I wouldn't just give up based on if one doctor won't work with you, another doctor will, you know, especially 45, that's young in the world of IVF. Like that's, yeah, definitely stay hopeful, like be informed, but stay hopeful. Do you recommend ERA? I don't have history of endometriosis, just because history of 3 miscarriages. So ERA does not deal with endometriosis. That would be the Receptiva DX, or if you went through iGenomics, they call their test the Emma and Alice test. That would test for endometriosis, endometriitis, and any bacterial abnormalities in your uterus. The ERA tests the receptivity, right? So it's the endometrial receptivity array, meaning is your uterus receptive at the time that they're transferring? So they'll do a mock transfer, give you all of the meds that you would take during a regular transfer. On the day of transfer, instead of putting an egg in or an embryo in, they take a biopsy out. Then they test that biopsy and they say, is this receptive? Like, is it ready to welcome a baby in, right? And if it's not, they give you the results. So like mine was not, it was pre-receptive. So we knew that I needed 1 more day of progesterone. So that was helpful. So that basically means like my first cycle would not have taken because I didn't have the right amount. So for that respect, I would recommend it. And then I guess, have they already tested your, I don't remember, Elaine, did you do IVF? Like, did they test your progesterone after ovulation or after transfer to see where you were? Or if there was like, did they give you any progesterone support? Or do they have any indication that it might not be receptive? You can improve your quality, but not the supply. Exactly. That's what I've always heard, TK, is the quality. You can improve quality, but not quantity, which makes sense because it's based on what you're feeding the eggs. Hey, ma'am, you're not in charge of the hallway. Come here. Liberty, come here. Somebody's outside. Tress is 45. And I'm 27. Woohoo! See, look at you, Tressa. Congratulations. Please don't give up. I did do the donor egg route and I have no regrets. There you go. When I was 47, I only had 1 day 3 embryo that made it, then arrested at 5 weeks. I'm paying out of pocket for everything. So moved to donor eggs. That's what made sense for you in your situation, Christina. I totally understand. And that's what I came to last year because even when I decided originally to do donor egg, I was like, oh, I'll do donor and mine. But then cost becomes a factor, right? And I was like, because something was in the back of my head, I was like, well, what if it doesn't work? Like, how many times could I do that? And so it just made sense to put all my eggs, no pun intended, in the donor basket, or pun intended. But it just made sense. You know what I mean? Like from a financial standpoint and an emotional standpoint. Because I was not a fan of stemming. And I stemmed about 5 times. And I stemmed 6 times. I had only 2 retrievals. Those stems ain't no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. So yeah, it's crazy. 45 is not the end. I agree, TK. So you have options. Be open to the options. Don't let fear block your blessings. Amen. Amen. And that is the thing, TK. Like there are options. And it's like, you have to really be open to them and you have to be persistent and advocate to the doctors of like, this is what my end goal is, but also be realistic. And that was hard for me at first because my block was like, I absolutely don't want to do donor eggs. And so that was a block. But then I had to tell myself, what is your end goal? My end goal is to take home baby. So then it doesn't matter. Right. Or that shouldn't be the stopping point. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because obviously there's a grieving process when you transition from your own eggs to donor eggs. I don't want to diminish that for anyone. And it took me a while to process that. However, I didn't want that to block my blessing, right? Which the blessing is my take home baby. And so like advocate for yourself. What do you want? Let the doctors know, listen to them. Maybe take somebody with you when you have to go because sometimes you can't hear it. It's like, you know, when you go to buy a house or a condo or whatever, you take somebody else who's like an uninterested party because they're not listening with their emotions and they can like filter through what was said. You may be hearing it a different way based on what your state of mind is. But they'll, most of the time, the 3 doctors that I went to at least have laid out what my probabilities were, right? And like I said, I was told I had a 1% chance by 2 of them, but I was willing to still put my eggs, or let me stop saying that, put my money on black, whatever euphemism you want to say. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to know. And so I think we just each have to look at what our hearts can handle, what our minds can handle, what our wallets can handle. Somebody in the live, I don't remember if it was here on Instagram, said they sold their house to do it. So, you know, I mean, obviously we all don't have things that we can just sell for, but you have to decide what it looks like for you or how are you going to manage it. 45 is the trigger age that always used to shut us out of the IVF process. Oh yeah. There's been so many advances in IVF since the 90s, and us 40 plus women are back in the game. Don't give up. Yeah, there's like 40 women at 41, 42, 43, 44, even 45 having natural pregnancy. So I think, you know, because we're taking care of ourselves in different ways, we're living longer. I think that just impacts all of that. But RMA was like old school. When I showed up at 2 weeks after my 46th birthday, she would not entertain IVF with my own eggs. Girls. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Let me get these. The little princesses. Okay, we're gonna let them play outside for a minute. They could be noisy out there with the rest of Harlem. Yeah, but there's a lot of technologies and a lot of different stuff. And they do low dose meds too, right? They've learned like sometimes older women need a low dose instead of trying to get a lot of eggs, get 2-3 quality eggs, because they've learned that a lot of the too much medication can also impact the quality of the age. And we already know that older women could potentially have a quality issue because the eggs have been around longer. So there's so many advances. Like I know at New Hope here in New York, they'll do a bunch of mini cycles for women and let them bank their eggs. And then they'll do, you know, they'll fertilize them all at once. And so it's more cost effective. But there are options. That's what I'm saying. And like see several different REs if you need to, because they each kind of have their sweet spot. I say that all the time. They don't all do the same thing. There's not only one way to make a baby. Otherwise, somebody would patent that and everybody would follow that. And that person who created the patent would be rich. Each clinic has its own little formula that works for them. And hopefully it's tailored to you. But that's why there are certain places you go. Like I know my doctor, even though I don't have fibroids, she specializes in women with fibroids. She's a Black woman. And as a result, she has a lot of Black women patients because a lot of Black women have fibroids. So if you were a person with fibroids, you would want to seek out an RE that had that, you know what I mean? Or if you were a person who was struggling with something else, endometriosis, whatever it is, you would want to target someone who specializes in that or who has some sort of history of success. And sometimes that's through word of mouth or conversation or good old Google, but find those folks. Yes, Team 45 plus. Yay, Aisha, I'm glad. I was talking about the PRP ladies. Oh, Donna, what was that? I think you mean PRP. Are you considering doing PRP, Donna? Is that what it is? Have they evaluated you and found you to be a good candidate? I decided not to try PRP because 15% chance was not enough for me for the cost. Yeah, 46. And they gave you 15%. That's interesting. I've read all of their clinical studies and I haven't seen any that say there was a significant increase in pregnancy, live pregnancy versus not having PRP. Did you see any difference in your labs after the DHEA? I think it raises testosterone, so I stay away from it. I mean, I saw that my DHEA went up in my labs, and I definitely had a bunch of acne from those. My total testosterone did not increase. But eventually I just came out. It wasn't kind to me. But there's a clinic here, CHR, that is the one who advises it for older women. Because our DHEA declines as we age. But after a certain point, I have a bottle in my cabinet right now. I stopped taking it. True, in the medical field, don't conduct research. They sure don't. On women over 45, they do not conduct research. So the sample data size they use is not completely valid. Right. If you look at their studies, it drops off at 44. Every now and then you'll see 45 plus where they lump everything together, but most of the IVF studies are through 44 with your own eggs. After that, they just don't track it because they don't want it to count against them, right? Some clinics won't even treat you after 45 for IVF because those stats matter. And some clinics don't care about their stats, like CHR here in New York and New Hope. They don't care about their stats. So they'll treat whatever. And I think probably CNY is not really just like stat driven, because I feel like they try a lot of experimental stuff too. We count ourselves out after hearing no or getting no support, but if it's on your heart, then keep going. Only you decide what's in the end. I know that's right, Shauna. And that was what it was for me too, because I was like, even when I was trying to tell myself no, it was still on my heart. And I was like, I have to look at this. I have to at least explore the option of donor, because it wasn't going away, do you know? And even when I got the puppies, I was like, well, maybe that'll like give me my, give me something to mother. Maybe that's what I'm missing. But that wasn't, I mean, that just spiked it up another notch. You know what I mean? And I remember like my IVF unicorn was telling me like she got animals. She'd had a total of 13 miscarriages. And she was like, she got animals so she could have something to mother. And that helped her go on. And she was a New Hope patient. But yeah, she was New Hope. She was Braverman, the reproductive immunologist. It was, don't tell yourself no, and find a doctor that'll give you a strong maybe, worst case scenario. But there'll be some doctor who will be like, oh yeah, who won't make false promises, but will lay out reasonable expectations, something you feel comfortable with. Yes, Bitsy. I might do a video on PRP because I've researched it before because ladies have brought it up. But yeah, Christina's, I was told 1% 2 at 47 and gave it a try, no regrets, but moved on to donor after a lot of consideration. Our donor was great and flew from California to our Missouri clinic. We have 8 embryos. So I was like, woohoo! Yeah. And I also think like that helped me move forward, Christina, with like a clear heart, because I did try with my own eggs. Not that everybody should. I'm not judging people who didn't, but I would have had it in my mind. You know what I mean? I don't have any regrets about trying with my own eggs either. Like that's what made sense for me. I'm so hopeful that my AMH comes back as normal because I only have 5 follicles on my left and 3 on my right. That was on cycle day 9. I'm hopeful that progesterone and letrozole help me next month. Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about the AMH. I mean, if they're going to treat you, they're going to treat you, honestly. AMH is not something we can control. It's just a number on a page. The fact that you have follicles, a total of 8, if they're going to do letrozole, you only need to release 1. I mean, letrozole, you may release more, like you may end up like fully developing 3, but most of the time they won't trigger you if there's more than 3. Most clinics won't, but I wouldn't worry about the AMH. It's really just a number. I know some of the ladies in the chat rooms get caught up on it. I'm not sure why I give it so much power, because it's not a number that you can change. It's just sort of like saying the door is white. It just becomes a fact. It only really will matter if you go to IVF and then they're worried, and then they'll give you your percentage of success rate with your own egg versus donor egg, right? That's the only time it really, really matters. Because they went real quick with me with that. Well, you have a higher percentage chance of success with the donor eggs based on your AMH. But it didn't like change my treatment plan. My FSH changed my treatment plan So I would like, as long as, and I know you've been like exercising and working on your eating, and so that will help with the FSH, keeping your adrenals relaxed, which is probably hard with 2 little ones at home that you homeschool, but you know, we work it out. CNY doesn't carry that. That's what I was thinking, man. I think they treat older women. Someone told me they did a transfer recently on like a 55-year-old woman, or a 55-year-old woman recently got pregnant at CNY. So yeah, you have to just, the doctors are out there that will treat you and will believe in you. It's just a matter of advocating for yourself and really like being diligent about looking for that. No matter what it takes, we will find our paths and our babies are coming. Yes, they are. Donna Grace, IG, Instagram? I don't know. Speak it into being. Absolutely, Sophia. Yeah, sometimes there's so many numbers and things going on with all this. It's like, focus on the ones you need to focus on, because then it's just like all of our acronyms. It just becomes like alphabet soup, you know, AMH, AFC, FSH, TTC, BFP. Like, we have our own little codes going on. And some people are just like, and then they'll ask other people, like, what's your AMH? Like, why would you need to know that? Like, are you treating me? Like, I don't know if it's a competition. It just, some of it gets a little weird for me. Like, I'm going to tell you something crazy. I posted a picture last night. Somebody asked me what the size of my rug was. I just deleted it. Like, why would that matter? Unless you're trying to figure out the square footage of my condo in some backwards ass way. Like, why do you need to know this, like the measurements of my carpet? I don't know why somebody would need to know my AMH. But I see it in the chat rooms where they're asking and they're telling. The only thing that it ever mattered for me was, at least in my experience, was the conversation about whether to proceed with my own eggs or not. And they use that as statistical evidence, right? Here's some data that's showing other women who have this same AMH have had these results. They're not saying it's impossible. They're just saying it's a decreased chance based on data. But you know what? I might be that breakthrough. You never know. So I was like, let's try it. Because even with the data, there's outliers, right? Like 1 out of 3, whatever, there's outliers, and that's how you get an average or a percentage. It's not always, you know, you could have 100% over here, 2% over here, and then somehow that gets to be 38%. So you could be that one. So that's why, like, when they said 1%, I was not deterred by that. If they would have said 0, that would have been a different, I mean, they wouldn't have moved forward if it was 0. And they have to believe there's some chance of it, because why would they be wasting their time? I know some people get jaded and say they just want your money, but they have to justify that to the insurance companies. They have to report all their stats. Like, there's so much involved. I don't know why they would intentionally mislead somebody. I mean, I'm not saying they don't or can't, but I mean, I'm in New York. They're not hard up for money. It's people knocking down doors to get to these REs. So I don't think it's like they're trying to trick me. My doctor will do transfers up to age 54. Okay, see, she said she would consider up to 55, 56, depending on person. Right. Like, I think if they're healthy and age-wise, I saw a lady, I don't know if you guys watch, I think it's TLC, one of these shows I watch, where the woman was 55 and she had triplets for her daughter. I mean, let me say that right. Her daughter and her husband had the embryos, right? Created the embryos, but her daughter couldn't carry. And so she carried. And they transferred, I don't know why they transferred multiple, if they were untested, I don't remember all that. But she ended up with triplets. They thought it must have been quads at first, because she had a miscarriage. And so they didn't scan her after that, which is also weird, because I know when I had a miscarriage, I had to keep going to my HCG drop. But then she was pregnant, and then she was pregnant with triplets, and she was 55. So they do all, as long as your heart is good, you know what I mean? Like, health-wise, you're good. You don't have COPD. You don't have diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever, and you're fit to carry. Why not? Trying to manage my stress is my focus. Yes, I have a 15-year-old son in New York City. Woo! Yes, that is. Where in New York are you, Shauna? Just turned 45 last week. Happy birthday! Looking to start. So you're a Leo, right? Looking to start my 3rd cycle by the end of the year. It will happen. It will happen. Hopefully, like, I don't know, New York is crazy right now too with the COVID, and now de Blasio wants everybody back in school, no remote option, and kids under 12 can't be vaccinated. I don't know. It's a scary time in New York. I would say do as much yoga and meditation as you can, or just get a good candle and light it before bed. even if you don't formally meditate and just write some little notes to yourself, whatever it takes, girl, fight for your sanity. Self-care is, got to put on your own life mask first, you know? I don't believe it's a good investment. Oh, okay, Donna, sorry. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. Missouri, you say. Who says Missouri? Oh, yes. Oh, wait, somebody else up here said Missouri. I'm like, wait. Now the girls are going crazy. Can you guys hear them now? I don't know what's happening. Justice is probably yelling at somebody. They can't even hear her. She's so bossy. Oh, my God. They're going through this crazy phase where they both want to be in my lap at the same time all the time now, which is like very strange. And they don't want to share. Because one can be over here, one can be over here, but you can't both be on my lap. Hopefully it passes. That's how the Katie Foundation started. Her mom carried her triplets. They are now 18. They started the foundation to help other families. Oh, wow. I wonder if it's the same people. Interesting. Formerly SIRM, STL, Share. Okay. Now it's women owned and run and called STL Fertility. Okay. Very nice. So Share was one of the ones that I went to here in New York. I understand. I originally heard of Share from that movie, or not a movie, like a documentary where they gave away fertility treatments. But I know some people have had success there. They do have a relatively high success rate with older women with their own eggs, which is why I went there. And Colombia didn't. So when I made the decision to try donor eggs, that's why I was like, let me go back to Colombia. It was a little more my speed. Yeah. It was just a little more my speed. I'm gonna leave it at that. Harlem. Oh, you're close to me. I'm by Central Park. I'm at oh my God, I'm not 110. What is this out here? 113th and 8th. Frederick Douglass. We're neighbors. I'm over here. They just opened that cantina downstairs. Yeah, 113th and 8th Ave. We're close. I don't know exactly where Schaumburg is, but I know Central Park and 110th. South Harlem. I can see the park from my bedroom terrace. We're close. We should have lunch. I'm vaccinated, so I can, you know. But yeah, we're super close. There's a lot of good clinics, and some people have good experiences at a clinic and some people don't. So I shouldn't even say good clinics. Like all of them, do your research. But I know, like, I'm just thinking of Shady Grove. I know somebody had a horrible experience at Shady Grove, and then I know 2 people who got their take-home baby at Shady Grove in Maryland, DC area. And so it just depends. It also depends on how you vibe with the doctor. Like when you go in for your doctor, that's an interview. Like sometimes I feel like we're so nervous. I know I was my first time. I'm not going to project it on you guys. Maybe you weren't. I was so nervous and I didn't really like do enough research. Like it all happened so fast when I scheduled my appointment because I had the miscarriage. Like before I even had my next period, I was in to see them. I didn't think I was going to get in that fast. So I wasn't prepared with what to ask or knew that I should be asking questions. So I was a little bit intimidated. And then I got better at it, right? I mean, hey, 3 clinics later or 2 clinics later. And so I started interviewing them, asking them questions like, what is the protocol? Like, I didn't know when I went to RMA that they were only doing half monitoring. Like I would go in on cycle day 3. They didn't do an ultrasound. They just did blood work. And then they gave me meds on that. I could have had cysts. I could have had anything growing. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't know. And then when I went back mid-cycle before trigger, they would do a scan. They would check my ovaries, check my lining, but then they didn't do blood work. So you know what I mean? Like, so it was, but I didn't know that was bad until I went to Colombia and they were doing it another way. Or actually, I take that back because I was posting videos and girls were telling me like, they're not doing your full blah, 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 or are you just not showing us that part? I'm like, no, they're not doing that. So the first time I had like an ultrasound on cycle day 3 was when I went to Colombia. But so I think in that way, forums are good. Like ask other ladies, what would you ask them? What do you think about asking them? But I would ask them like, what's your standard protocol like? Even if they're going to tailor it for you, they have a general, because again, they all have a sweet spot. What's their standard? They have a standard and then they do little variances from that. They're not doing tomato soup in one room and chicken soup in another. You know what I mean? Like it's either they're taking the basil out of this tomato soup and adding a little oregano. This one they're, like I would just ask them that. For the lady who put her house up, I'm sorry, I'm not used these lives. Oh, Yes. I don't know if she's in this chat, but she was in the chat in the other one. And I'm talking loud. I'm sorry, guys. I realize it when I take a breath. I'm hard of hearing. I think I've said that before. So it gets loud because I'm trying to hear myself. And then as my throat starts to get sore, I realize I'm talking loud. Hey, neighbor, me too. Oh, yeah. We are so close. Like, I'm 3 doors down from Paws, the Paws Country Club. That's where the girls go to daycare. We are close. Shoot me an email, tanika@simplytanika.com. Let's meet up. I'm serious. Yeah, Tanika is like how my name is spelled, at simplytanika.com, and we'll connect. We neighbors, girl. For the lady who put her, oh yeah, okay. Cantina margaritas, yes, are so good. We'll send my info. Okay, good. Yes, girl. Like I said, I haven't been drinking this transfer, but I had some interesting nights because I used to go to the other cantina by where the subway is. Like if you come up and you go east, that other one which is still open. So when they open this one, I mean, I can see it from my bedroom. Like I could just look down and it's there. Or I can see it from this terrace too, but I mean, my bedroom is like damn near right over it. Sorry guys, we just had a neighborhood moment, a New York moment. Hi Rebecca, welcome. Columbia, crazy planet. Colo, is that what that means? Columbia means crazy. It's part of the university. I'm a fan of like the university led things. Like when I had the kidney removed, my sister and I went to UCSF, which is, oh my God, University of California, San Francisco. But it was a teaching school as well. Columbia is a teaching. So I feel like they're just more on like cutting edge stuff as far as like what works, what doesn't work. Not that they're experimenting on people, but I just am like a fan of that. I feel like Columbia my treatments have been based on the most studies, at least. Anyway. Not that it makes a difference here or there. It just is what's logical in my brain. I didn't feel too bad about me selling that house. I hated every inch of it. Okay. Oh, Rebecca, it was you. Okay. I was like, I can't remember your name, but yeah. And that's what I'm like, Rebecca, we all have to do what makes sense for us. You know what I mean? You were fortunate enough to have a house to sell. Some people are like trying to figure out how they can pay for IVF, or they're doing like Cash App or GoFundMe or whatever the case is. And sometimes, I've said it a million times, it feels like I'm at a gambling table. I don't gamble, but a crap table or whatever, Russian roulette, like putting more money down and trying again. Because it is a bit of a gamble. That's why they tell you what your risk of success or your percentage of success, because there's a risk that it won't be successful, right? So, yes. All right, we've been on here an hour. I was just trying to catch some people. I was trying to come on here earlier because I know everybody was like, oh, I missed it. So I was like, let me come on early and see them. I'm going to pop over to Instagram and talk to them about a blue moon for a little bit. And then I'm going to do my shot and take my girls for a walk. I love you guys. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you. Thank you, Christina. It's a whole vibe here. Yes, I feel different. I do. It's crazy that you guys can see that because people were commenting, but listen, I do if it's glowing through. I mean, I guess it makes sense because you know how you meet someone and you're like, oh, I like their energy. So of course it emits, but it just, I feel like I've changed. And so I'm glad in a good way. So it's good. I'm thinking about going back to Columbia, Dr. Brady. Hope she is still there. But I have a consultation at Kind Body in September, Black female. Or Dr. Brady is still there. She did she's still there, but back in 2008, she's the one who did my egg retrieval too. And she did my SIS, the sonohistogram. But she's still there. I'm trying to think. I saw her. I don't think she did a transfer for me this time, but I saw her in one of my exams. At least she was there in November. I'll say that. I think she was there in November. I haven't seen her since then. Thank you, Tanika. Baby dust to you too, Bitsy. Baby dust to all you ladies. Hit the thumbs up on the way out for me, please. We have 46 people in here. If all of you guys hit the like button, it will be, it helps me grow. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'm trying to go to YouTube boot camp so I can make bigger and better videos for you. Don't we want good pregnancy videos, ladies? Hit that thumbs up. All right. I love you, ladies. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Baby dust to us all. Let me go get these girls off the terrace.